So, if you have a hard time meditating, it's probably because you are an overthinker. And if you're an overthinker, that's probably because you basically don't trust the universe enough. And your spiritual, having a better spiritual connection can really, really help. And I'm going to connect the dots and kind of explain that and then go into some of the ways that you can work on building a better connection spiritually to solve this problem. But back to meditation and not being able to stop thinking. So you kind of sometimes get into a catch-22 when you know you're an overthinker. Maybe you have anxiety and it tends to manifest in overthinking, and then you know that meditation is supposed to be good for you, but because you're such an overthinker, it's very difficult for you to meditate. So you get caught in this loop. It's a catch-22 where you can't it's the solution, but the problem prevents you from using the solution. So the issue, to kind of circumvent this problem and to deal with the problem of the overthinking, is to add more trust, more faith, basically. You need that level of security, and here's why. Because the reason that we become overthinkers is because somehow some of these problems develop could have developed in childhood, it could have developed later, but somewhere along the way your mind realizes that it's useful and it's a tool to help you to overthink, to avoid feeling the unsafety of not knowing everything, not having it all figured out. Because in this Western society, we do place so much emphasis on our cognitive, rational mind and having everything figured out, because it's really all dependent on us, and that can put a lot of pressure on us. It creates a lot of anxiety, having to feel basically the world, our world, rests on our own shoulders and our ability to figure it out and manage everything, which is it's a pretty impossible task a lot of the time. And a lot of the time we don't have all the answers. And being able to trust that the universe, that God, source, whatever, your higher self, is assisting you and guiding you and knows the path for you. There's this metaphor of your higher self, the universe, has this bird's eye view, and you are on the ground, and so you can't see past over the mountains, over the trees or whatever. You have a very limited view on the ground, but your higher self has this bird's eye view, and so it can see kind of what's around the corner, and it knows where to go, what to do. And this is why they say your ego doesn't always have it figured out. Your ego is the part of you that's on the ground that can't see everything. And sometimes it knows that it can't see everything and it doesn't know where to go. And it's that's the anxiety of I don't know where to go. I don't feel guided. Your higher self knows where to go. It can see the entire landscape and it's able to guide you. The issue is trusting that you are in communication with that higher self, and then that higher self actually exists. So that will reduce your anxiety, your overthinking, because you're able to put your trust in that. The problem is that, if you, like me, I was not raised with any kind of spiritual upbringing, or maybe you have some trauma, so you've gotten rid of that spiritual connection. then it's like, how do you even build that, because it just doesn't make sense. You do have to build trust. And I do also want to say that, like, part of it is like, in order to see clearly, sometimes we have to go through like a trauma of like confusion. Like, for some people, there's actually a trauma that has to be like worked through, related to like confusion, like not having it all figured out. And so when you hear the phrase like you have to feel it to heal it, this is going to come into like, this is where it's really important, because you're going to have to be able to feel that discomfort of confusion and not knowing, and being in this like no man's land of like, I have no idea what to do next. I don't know if I'm safe or not. And kind of lean into like aligning with this safety and security of being guided. So a lot of it is going to be like being okay with feeling that feeling of like anxiety and sitting with it and tolerating that feeling. That's like you feeling to heal, of not knowing everything. And what makes it possible to sit with that feeling without resisting it, which is the key element in healing. Like, you can feel anything, but if you're resisting it, nothing's going to heal. So feel to heal requires this like letting go of resistance, and trust and faith is going to give you that like energetic balance to be able to let go of the resistance. So some of the things that you can do to increase your trust, your faith, and let go of that resistance, and be okay with the confusion. Let that anxiety of confusion leave, and like letting it resolve and letting it heal, so that when you do sit in meditation, you're basically able to sit in this space, like withdrawing from your thinking mind and feeling safe in that, not having to think to feel safe. You're okay and feeling safe being in a non-thinking space. So some of the things that you can do to build this trust is start being aware and like making notes of like synchronicities. The more that you notice them, the more that they're going to pop up in your life. So start being aware of these synchronicities and these like, you can call them like signs from the universe, or synchronicities, just like odd things that pop up, like coincidences. This is going to be really important. As you start noticing, they're going to start appearing more, and that will help you realize, wait, what else what's happening here. And another thing you can do, like this is really helpful, is like, especially if you don't have like a lot of spiritual background or spiritual like understanding, spend a lot of time learning about it. Spend a lot of time like being immersed in these kinds of like environments of spirituality. And this is going to be like high priority. Like obviously that would be nice to spend more time doing things like that, but it really will help you build like comfort, and like, well, familiarity leads to comfort, and familiarity in these ideas of spirituality. that will help you to lean into like a more spiritual, trusting mindset. You can also do like dream work and manifestation to help you build trust in the fact that like you are not so disconnected from your outer reality. Like there is a link, and that will help you build this sense of like, I'm not alone. The inside and the outside are more connected than I realize. And then another thing is like communication, like actually talking to the universe and asking for signs and paying attention, like really paying attention to what's happening, because sometimes like messages come through people, messages come through like what shows up on your phone, messages comes through animals, through the environment, through nature. It comes through many different forms, and these are messages, and if you're paying attention, you'll start to be able to have like an ongoing conversation with the universe. And it starts to make more sense as you try it. So anyway, I hope this helps, and good luck with your meditation.